I'm up here at the farm in Newton, Alabama. We're going to go through some bees today. Going to start doing some splits this weekend. We have some cells ordered. Got a lot going on coming up here real soon. These bees have been pretty strong. I haven't been through them in a few weeks. And so I wanted to come up here and just see how many of these hives I think we'll be able to split. Well, I pulled up here and just like a couple weeks ago in Slocum, there's a big old swarm in a tree. But I think we can maybe catch this one. So it's going to be a little adventure here. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. There's a swarm up there, probably 15 feet up. It's a pretty good sized swarm. Probably at least about the size of a basketball, I would guess. We'll see if we can catch them with the old trusty swarm catching pole. Here are the hives right here. I have no idea which one they came out of. Just let them go too long without checking them. All right, the bees have been testing me from some of those hives back there, I think, and so I just went and put on my jacket here. There we go. They're kind of stuck amongst some branches up there, so it might be interesting. It's about the spot of the very first swarm I ever caught up here, probably back in 2014. But back then I didn't know about the bucket trick, so that was quite the adventure. Ooh, yikes. It's a lot of bees, y'all. See if we can dump them in. My word. Swarm's a little bigger than I thought it was, I think. Whoop. They are getting after me a little bit. Got stung on the finger already. So there we go. How about that? Hopefully we got the queen in the box. They're going to stay in there. Goodness gracious. Ooh, we got bees all over the ground. It was really bigger than the bucket. So a bunch of them fell that didn't go in the bucket. This is actually a 7-frame box, so I really don't have a lid that's the right size for it. A 10-frame lid here. All right, let's see what happens. So what tends to happen sometimes with these bucket catchers like this is a lot of the bees will collect back up in the tree. If we have the queen in the box, they'll end up down here with her. Sometimes it takes a few shakes with the bucket to get them in. The viewer, Carter Hill, I think Honeybees, has a bucket basket type setup that he does with a mesh type garbage can, which is about the same size, I think it's a 5-gallon bucket. And what he'll do is just set the pole up there and the bees will all collect on the bucket instead of back on the limb. That seems to work better. Maybe I need to get me a setup like that. Well, I think they're doing okay. Seem to be going in. Very few going back up to the tree. Just gonna leave them alone a little while, go through some bees and just kind of let them do their thing. We'll keep an eye on them and see what happens. All right, I don't know if you've ever been through this hive before. It's been double deep all winter. And these bees historically have had a tendency to be a little bit feisty, as a lot of my bees are. I actually went in a hive, I think it was yesterday, in my backyard that was really calm, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is nice. So maybe with things starting to turn green, starting to bloom a little bit here, just at the very beginning of our flow here, maybe the bees will start to calm down a little bit. I'm going to use this tool here that Ron gave me last week. It's pretty neat. It's got all kinds of features on it. I'll have to figure it out as I go. Seeing a fair amount of honey being put in here, a little bit anyway. I do see some beetles in here. This is good. Honey around the rim here, brood there, eggs in these cells. It's always a good idea to have a purpose when going through your colonies. And my purpose today is to check strength and see which ones I think I can split. And I can already tell you from looking at this one will be at least one split, if not two, next weekend. That ought to be an exciting time next weekend. I'm going to probably try and do, my goal is around 20 splits. We'll see how it goes. All right, well, queen cell. That looks like a supersedure cell right there. I'm running a little bit of a risk here if I don't go ahead and split them. There's not a huge population of bees in here. I wonder if this is possibly the colony that has swarmed. Now I did go in a center frame to start this off. I know some people don't think you should do that. It's probably best to start on the outside, but the bees haven't drawn these frames out super thick, so I think as long as I'm careful, I'll be okay. Little drone brood around the bottom here. Still need to draw that frame out a little bit. Look at that sheet of brood right there though. We are in full-on bee season here in southeast Alabama right now. Not sure I'm 100% competent with this tool yet. That's actually a medium frame they've built out on the bottom, if you can see right here. And they'll do this sometimes. A medium frame goes to right here, and drone breed on the bottom. Lots of times they'll do that. I'm totally cool with that. I like to have a lot of drones from good strong hives. Especially since next week we're probably going to drop some nukes up here with some cells in them for them to go ahead and mate with. So there's only one queen cell in there right now. It actually looks to me almost like a supersedure cell. What I may do is go get a honey super and put it on here to give them a little bit of space and just let it roll. Strong bees though. Alright, so this hive is going to have one split, possibly two next week. If I take all the bees pretty much out of this top box, or if I kind of take this whole box off as a split and put it into two nukes, then I may just slap a honey super or some honey supers on the bottom box and let them start putting honey in. I think it's about time they're going to start doing that. Not even going in the bottom box. Alright, this is the next colony over, another double deep. These hives right here were pretty much, I think, from the same bunch of splits I did last year. Look at this. Same type situation. Plenty of bees. Now the one we just checked a minute ago, it's been strong like all winter, but this thing, it was okay, but it wasn't crazy strong. I did put this second box on it a few weeks ago because I felt like I needed space, but they look like they've really blown up and done well. Nectar. There's some kind of flow going on. I haven't fed them in a while. So they're putting some nectar in. That whole frame is mostly nectar there. Got a lot of drone brood there. They're definitely building up. You know, lots of drone brood, lots of drones, lots of bees. They're doing what bees do. Regular brood right there. All through here we have what I call milk brood. If you've watched any of my other videos when I've explained that, basically what that is to me is newly hatched larvae. They'll feed it like a royal jelly, a type substance, for the first few days of their life as a larva, and it looks kind of milky. I don't feel obligated to look through every single frame in every single box. I just want to make sure we've got a good population of bees, we got larvae, we got brood, we got food. And here we got some queen cells here. That one is damaged. That one is damaged. They're on the bottom of the frame. What does that indicate? Typically that indicates swarm cells. Look at that brood right there. All through here. Don't see a lot of queen cells though, just a couple. This must have been a frame from a cutout. It's got the rubber band on it. Today's Monday. Friday, I'm planning on taking off from work and getting these splits set up. Starting to break these bees down. What y'all think? They're looking strong. Don't even need to go in the bottom box. I've seen what I need to see. I'm kind of excited about how they're doing. They'll stay in the box for another 4 days. We're going to break them down and do some splits. At least one split out of these two on this side, and then one or possibly two out of that one over there. Stay tuned, it's going to be fun. Looks like that swarm is pretty much all in the box over there across the fence. Don't really see much activity up at the limb up there. So we're just going to let them sit right there while we go ahead and continue to go through these hives over here. And then if they're still all in there, as I hope they will be when we're done, we'll move them over to a stand before we leave. Look at that pretty girl right there, right in the middle of the screen. Beautiful queen. She might be a new queen because so far I really haven't seen any brood in this hive, but I see a bunch of eggs and larvae. I've only been in a couple of frames and there's not a ton of population in here. Look how pretty she is though. Beautiful. Well, whether she's young or not, there is some brood in here. Look at that beautiful frame of brood right there. This colony was actually a little bit weak all year last year, but I don't think they're going to be weak for long. Look at that. Whether she's brand new or she's a little bit older, she's doing a phenomenal job. My guess is she's not the same queen that was in here last summer anyway, because they didn't do a whole lot. Well, we got this done, went through all these colonies. I think we're going to be able to get 3 or 4 splits out of these. Across the street over here, the two on the end are, they're doing okay. I don't think I'll split them unless they just make some great progress before next week. This hive right here, pretty sure was doing great, probably get a split out of it. This one as well. This triple deep nuke right here is doing well. This double deep nuke over here also doing well. And of course here's the swarm we just caught. I put the rest of the frames in there and some of the bees came out, but it looks like they're going back in. This hive over here is also very strong, doing quite well, probably get a split out of it. This down here is a dead out that I just set up as a swarm trap. I've got some swarm commander in there. Well, I think the bees have had enough of me and I've had enough of them. So I'm about to get out of here. I appreciate y'all watching. Next weekend is going to be crazy. We'll get a lot of splits done, hopefully, and it's just going to be something else. So until then, y'all take care and be safe.